And you're listening to 91.5 WUML Lowell Blues Deluxe. And I have Gino Matteo on the line. Hello there, Gino.
Hey, how you doing, John?
Good, good. So you're from Southern California. Growing up, what were you listening to? What kind of music were you listening to growing up?
Um, Growing up, I liked my mom's records were kind of like what I would listen to a lot. You know, Louis Prima, Otis Redding, and but I also got into Sabbath and where I'm from is kind of a melting pot of music. So there's a lot of different music from like you know Mexican music, ranchero music, and like I don't know. I just like anything with soul. But I grew up listening to a lot of I went through phases of any generation. The Seattle sound hit me really hard. I was super into Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and Mudhoney.
Yep.
And then, it's just, you just kind of go in phases.
So growing up, when did you decide that you wanted to play the blues? What was the impetus for you to start playing blues, even though you were listening to all kinds of music growing up?
Yeah, the blues came in with Live at Cook County Jail.
BB
With
King.
How blue can you get?
Yeah.
There's a note he hits. I forgot how many minutes and seconds in, but it's in the first solo section where he hits this note that seems like it goes on forever, and it's just this beautifully played note. And that was the first time I heard anybody put their fingerprints on a note, and that's what drew me to blues originally. Was that
one song?
aspect.
Wow, one
Yeah,
song.
that was it. I became obsessed with hearing because before then a guitar was a guitar to my ear, and then I heard that, and I didn't hear a guitar. I heard what he sounded like. It was like the first time you hear someone's soul. So I just chased that sound down, and that's how I kind of ended up in blues, because the whole idea of blues is to put your fingerprint on the note.
Yep.
You know.
So did you ever get to see BB at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. I met him a couple times. He was very sweet, and I made him smile one time, and that's one of the things I'll always hold on to when I'm sad or upset.
How'd you make him
Just remember,
smile? How'd you make him smile?
I was playing at the Mirage in Vegas at the opening of BB King's Blues Club. I was playing with Sherman Robertson.
Oh, another good guitar player.
Yeah, he was one of my mentors. I toured with him for a while, and I love Sherman. Always loved Sherman. But this gig was kind of his birthday present for me. He didn't tell me what the gig was on the way there, and he's like, "You're gonna like this gig," and I was like, "All right." And we're playing for BB, and I do something, and I play like the real fast butterfly vibrato thing that BB perfected. I tried to do that, and he looked up from his drink. Wasn't I don't think it was booze. It was probably Diet Coke or something. But he looked up at me and he smiled, and that was the best feeling I ever had in my life.
Did you ever tell him the story about that one note that got you started? Did you ever tell him that?
I don't think I ever had the balls to tell him. I met him a couple times. It was always quick in passing when I talked to him, and I never really got to sit down and talk to him. But I wish I could have. But yeah, I didn't have the cubes for that.
And you toured with Sherman Robertson, another great. I loved him. He was so good.
He was one of the most important showmen I think that ever existed, and it's super underrated.
Very underrated. Great records.
Yeah.
He's got some of the best I still play his records. They're so good.
Sherman was him and Carl Weathersby were two of the guys that when I toured with them, they gave me confidence in myself and went out of their way to make me feel like I had my own voice on the instrument, and that it was an important voice.
So did you open for them, or you were in their bands?
I was in this band that was a review. It was like a review where the backing band would back all these guys,
Yeah.
And we had bless you. Sorry. We had We had a Bobby Rush on a couple tours. We had Billy Branch on a couple tours. And we had a Carl Weathersby and Zora Young, Miss Blues, and Sherman Robertson a lot.
Wow.
But it was a perfect, like, from being a young guitar player, it was incredible to learn from them, like firsthand, like on stage, being able to watch them, you know.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of cool footage of Sherman and I playing, and my old manager, who I got into an argument with, ended up deleting it all from YouTube, and I was like, son of a bitch. I really wanted to like go get that before they got
down.
petty with it. But
yeah.
It went down. I was really excited that footage existed, and I really loved watching it. You know, I always like go back and watch stuff when I'm sad. Like, oh, that was really fun.
Maybe it's still out there somewhere. You never know.
I don't know, some hard drive somewhere probably.
So you started your own. You put your first record out in what, 2007, right around that time.
Yeah, that was with that label management team. They thought my writing was good and they wanted to do an album, and they came out, and yeah, that was the first one I put out. It was, you know, a lot of production on the album, you know.
Yeah, it sounded great. I liked the records.
Thank you so much.
And then Sweet Revival after that came out.
Yeah, I did that with Ripcat Records. I got to record with Joey Delgado, which was a lifelong dream of mine because I've been, you know, he's been family to us since I've been a teenager, you know.
So. And then the most recent one's Hug the Cactus, which I laugh at when I see that.
Yeah.
Cover.
Hug the Cactus was not so much an album as much as it was a nervous breakdown on tape that I did in my garage. Like, you know, I wanted to put out an album that was kind of lo-fi sounding, that was just done, you know, with creativity and no commercial want. Like, I didn't try to promote it at all, really. I just kind of posted it was out, you know. And it was a fun project that my friend Mikey and Jade and I did in our garage at the time.
And then
I love
it. It's a great album. It's somewhere right around that time. I'm not sure if it was then. You toured with Sugar Ray Rayford. Tell me about that.
Oh, I was on tour with Suge for almost over 10 years, and we played all over the planet together a couple times. You know, that was beautiful to travel and learn so much, you know, and see the world that way.
What was he like to play for?
What was Suge like to play for?
Yeah, what was he like?
He was great to play for. We had a lot of great nights at the Cadillac Zac shows in LA.
Yep.
Those were always fun because it was tight, intimate venue. The crowd was right in your face. It was sweaty. There's barely room to stand up. And if he throws you a solo, you better jump out and take it. And it was just a beautiful crowd to play for, you know. The Zac shows are great. We had an amazing show at Jazz Avienne in France one time. We played this like multiple 1,000-year-old Coliseum that was incredible. The lineup was us, Marquise Knox, Lucky Peterson, and Toronzo.
Whoa.
And it was great. That was one of the best nights of music I ever played. And Marquise came out and he played my guitar and we hugged and that was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life, was that singular gig.
Where's your favorite place to play, either here in the States or overseas?
My favorite place to play is the Burke in Oregon. It's closed down now. but the Burke in Oregon is a magical venue that was like way off, isolated in the middle of nowhere, and there's fields behind the club, and we played there several times. We were like the house band there. It felt like, and the club was the bottom level, and then the top level was like a hostel. It had a bunch of small hotel rooms in it, you know, and then there was a deck out back, and they had two dogs, Jaeger and Scully, and they were both like 250-pound Mastiff dogs. They were gigantic, and it was so fun to just. First time I went there, I crawled in the back of. I laid on the dog bed, and they just laid next to me, and I went to sleep for like hours.
Wow.
You play the first floor, you hang out on the deck after the gig, and then you go to bed on the second floor, and it's all in house, and there's a kitchen, and Wendy and Mike, the owners, Wendy would cook the most amazing food, so good and so peaceful and tranquil. That was my favorite place to
All
play.
in one place. That's pretty cool.
It was incredible. And it should have lasted forever, but the world is the world.
So, COVID,
Yeah.
2 years has gone by. And what were you doing during that period of time? I know a lot of people were promoting music online and everything else. What were you guys doing, you and Jade doing during that time?
During COVID, we were, like doing like everybody else, trying to survive, trying to pick up the pieces of what was the consequences of what was happening. We live streamed, some shows and stuff, and
yeah,
and we did that, and we worked with Can't Stop the Blues, which is a great organization with these people that are all over the country, supported blues musicians, and the Bowmans and Judy Elias and all these, and Karen. They're all. This organization, Can't Stop the Blues, was really instrumental in keeping a lot of people eating.
I forgot to ask you about your first appearance at the Arkansas Blues and Heritage Festival.
Oh wow, with Bobby Rush.
Yeah, tell me about that.
That was one of the coolest experiences ever. It was, I think, the first year they stopped calling it King Biscuit, and I don't know if it's back to being Biscuit or not, but that was that was amazing. Getting to see and just hang out with Hubert, for an extended period of time, and Willie Smith was there. Everybody was there. Sherman was there. We played with Sherman, Sherman Robertson, Carl Weathersby. They were all. It was so beautiful. It was like walking around a history book. You see Pine Top just sitting there smoking cigarettes, and you just walk past him, and these are really, really important people, and it was really nice to see them heralded because they were treated like kings down there, and it was beautiful to see, And then I misunderstood what the portion of ribs was at this one place. Walking back to because all the food was closed, and we finished playing, and I'm getting back to the van to go back to the hotel. I said, I'll get some ribs. So I stopped at this rib place, and I said, I'll get a side of ribs, thinking a side is going to be like a little. I'm from Southern California. A side means like a cart, little like tiny piece.
Not like a rack, right?
Yeah. So he gave me the side of a cow, like in a Ziploc, like not Ziploc, a hefty bag, like triple bagged hefty bag. Had a side of a cow in it, and he's like, "Here you go, that'd be $75." And I was like, and I was too embarrassed not to say I just wanted 2 ribs, so I paid him. I gave him $75, and I went back to the van.
And I bet it was the best you ever had.
Oh, it was amazing. The whole band ate that night. We were in the hotel room. Everyone's coming in and out of my room, like just getting loose meat out of a hefty bag. It was amazing. But, yeah,
your best $75 you ever spent, right?
Yeah, I learned what a side meant too.
Yeah. So, all right, let's fast forward. You have a new record that you are going to be releasing next month.
Yeah, yeah. This album, Shake the Roots, I wrote it with Jade, and we just decided during COVID was what made us, start this band and just come together because she'd put out a solo album, and I was putting out solo albums and stuff. We just combined forces during the pandemic because we're like, hey, we're forced to be locked into a room together anyway. Might as well start a band. So that's where B&B kind of came out of, is that we're, Jade and I are insular people. We're both, we live in an RV together. We're easily okay with being in a small space for a long period of time together. So we write together, and this is what that record sounds like to me.
That says a lot if you're able to do that. Not many people can. Think about it.
Yeah. No, I'm grateful every damn day that I don't piss her off enough to stab me or something.
She can come on. She can come on now because we're going to talk about the record.
Come on, JD. You want to come and sit down? Yeah. Louie, look out. Come here, Louie.
Hi.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Now I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
You toured and sang backup with Sugar Ray, I read.
Yeah, I did. For a while, a couple of years, anytime it was like in the area, or I would go overseas with them a couple times and help sing backup and everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
So during COVID, you put this record together, and it's I haven't heard much of it, a little bit of it.
Uh-huh.
And it's great. I mean, it's all over the map. There's all kinds of things on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we called it Shake the Roots.
Purposely done that way, I bet.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can play it. You can play it anywhere, actually, all kinds of different places, rather than just straight blues.
That is our influences are just so all over the place, and one of my issues is I hate being pigeonholed. Like, okay, so is this kind of record? And we're like, let's just write what we like and just see what happens with no
no rules.
Yeah, no rules or anything. And
that's the best way to do it. No rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I also wanted to make sure we weren't directly trying to. I've never tried to write blues. It's just like it's not the way it comes out. I mean, I've played guitar with a lot of blues artists, and I can play blues, but it's not my. I don't know. It's not my like.
It doesn't make you feel fulfilled, I think.
Yeah. Well,
as a writer.
As a writer, no, it's but the thing is, it's also like I always feel like an imposter if I'm because I'm what I'm doing is copying some beautiful recording I heard when I was a kid that I love.
You have imposter syndrome.
I have imposter syndrome, so I feel bad if I play like a blues lick note for note by like. If I play a Lightning Hopkins lick perfectly, I go, oh fuck. I don't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
Darn.
I apologize for cussing. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But yeah, that was a bad answer. Ended with a curse. I apologize.
So the record, it was you shopped it, and the first chance you got, they didn't want it. Tell me about that.
Well, I was doing sessions for a producer who was like, I like your playing, and
we want to have you and Jay do a record.
Yeah, I want to have you guys do a record together. So we did it. We did the record, and then we gave it to them, and it wasn't what they were looking for, or they didn't know what to do with it, or that happens.
It was weird. It was like they were loving it, and then they were like. Something happened. They're like, this is not blues enough for us. We're not going to do this anymore.
But everything happened the way it was supposed to.
Exactly. Now we're on Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
And it's better. Everything's
so
great.
tell me the story about how Gulf Coast found out about it.
Well, we recorded the record with my dear friend Kid Anderson, and we told Kid, like, hey, the label doesn't want the album we just cut with you. And he goes, oh, well, let me see if Gulf Coast wants it. And because he was recording some stuff for Gulf Coast, and he hit them up, and they loved it. So they were immediately on board, and we were immediately relieved because it would have gone on the shelf because we couldn't afford to buy it back from, who we recorded it for. So we're like,
So
it worked out great.
So it's coming out in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, it comes out May 20th. Yeah.
So we get to wait till May 20th to hear.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 singles out now that you can listen to.
Yeah.
We have Shiny Creatures and
Doesn't Really Matter.
Doesn't Really Matter, thank you.
Is one of the songs, and the other one is Shiny Creatures.
And then we have one more coming out next week.
We have another single coming out, like, I think May 6th or something like that.
And how's Gulf Coast doing, and all the promotion for it? That's how I knew about it. Because
that's fantastic.
They're promoting it.
The fact that we're sitting here talking to you means Gulf Coast is rad. They're awesome.
Yeah.
I love Zito, man. Zito and Joan and all those people over there are so sweet. Mark,
so Albert's wife, Castilia.
Michelle.
Yeah, she's the one that got me hooked with you guys.
I was about to say what a total badass Michelle is. She's rad. Yeah. And Albert's a really good friend of mine. He's always been, there's been times where I've been, down and stuff about playing, and Albert has been one of those guys who's always reached out to me randomly and been like, hey, you're awesome. Just keep playing. Just keep going, And I always love Albert for that.
You are. From what I've heard, you're awesome at playing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, bro.
So let's look at the next 3 to 5 years. Where do you want to be, the both of you? Where would you like to be? How's that? Where would you like to be?
I would like to be playing every awesome festival in the country and living in an upgraded RV.
Yeah, I love just festivals. I love festivals.
We love
right
festivals. Are our favorite.
No, but I love clubs too. But yeah, I'd like to just, I never had like these grand dreams of being like the richest person in the world. I just want to be able to be comfortable and play music. And
well, we luckily, like our lifestyle, it kind of lends itself towards traveling and being artistic because we live in an RV, so we travel to wherever the gig is and we just live there, Mm-hmm. So I want to be doing the exact same thing we're doing now. Just I'd like to be able to bring maybe one roadie.
Our dreams are very simple.
Yeah, I don't have any delusions I have 0 delusions of grandeur.
How about a little larger RV?
This is pretty big, actually.
We were thinking about getting something a little smaller.
Yeah, maybe something a little newer, but other than that, we're good on the space.
We're almost on 40 feet with this thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
we have a little tow car in the back, so that's why we had to start saying we're going to start saying tour bus now, because when you show up to a venue telling them we have an RV, they think a small RV, but we're just like, no, it's like the size of a city bus. And
it's 37 feet bumper to bumper.
Tour bus sounds so much cooler.
Actually, we really love this RV, but we would probably want a diesel.
Yeah.
The way things are going now.
Yeah, for sure.
So once this record is out, are you going to tour behind it?
Oh yeah, but we're booking a tour right now. We have a couple dates coming up. We have Utah Blues Festival in June, and then we have a couple festivals on the East Coast. We're doing South Carolina in July, and Montgomery in July, and then Massachusetts in August.
Yeah, I know. You're going to be up here at the North River Blues Festival.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's one of my favorite fests in the country.
John Hall. He's a great guy.
John Hall is awesome. He's one of the easiest hangs I've ever had. He's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I heard him talking to you, and I thought you were John Hall. I thought, because the accent, and I thought, why is John Hall doing the interview? I'm so confused. And then I got here and I realized.
I know John Hall very well. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, him and his lady are sweethearts.
Yeah.
And there's lots of festivals up here. I mean, the White Mountain, you'll have to try to get on that next year, and the
Yeah, I'd love to.
North Atlantic Blues Festival with Paul Benjamin. You should try to get onto that.
Yeah.
There are some places up here you could play too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to play everywhere we can.
Yeah,
We just signed with the Tina Terry agency, and she's doing great things for us. And I think we're slowly building up that momentum.
Yeah, we're going to be on the Blues Cruise in October.
And a lot of people are. It's just here in Arizona, it's kind of things are back to normal here, but we don't realize that in other places things are kind of slow moving still.
Yeah.
Everything that with COVID and everything. So we're kind of like in a weird bubble here because.
Well, we're also in a weird bubble because we're so isolated all the time. Like we're literally in the mountains right now. Like it's so like we always try to stay somewhere, away from everybody. Which COVID was kind of perfect for us, kind of like just the hermits we are, anyways.
Yeah. How about gigs around locally? Is there anything in Arizona or around you? I know California, you can go play.
We just
places.
finished our last gig out here. We're actually heading up to Oregon on Sunday.
Yeah, it's getting too warm here, so
yeah.
we're gonna go up to the Pacific Northwest for a month before we play the Utah Festival in June. So we're gonna go up there for May, and then we have some shows up there we're playing.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wherever we're gonna be, I'll look at we pick a state we want to go to stay for a while, unless we're on a tour, and we'll go, all right, what venues are there? Let's go say hi to those folks. And we just kind of that's what we do in Portland. So I'm looking forward to playing in Portland. I haven't been there in a minute.
So I read that you've played with Chris Kane as well.
Oh yeah, I played with Chris before. Chris is a dear friend and one of my biggest influences in terms of tone and just in character.
I love him so much.
Yeah,
he's just the sweetest guy. And
nice guy.
I'm so happy he's getting out there again. And
well, Chris Kane is. I've said it before. I always say he's the best guitarist of all time in any genre. To my ear,
he can play anything. Play anything.
Perfect. He's unfettered by anything, and he could play absolutely any genre like that.
I watched. I just watched a video of him and Matt Schofield somewhere in California playing, and his rhythm playing is sick.
Yeah,
Chris Kane.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody play rhythm like that in my life.
His chordal knowledge is really, really, really vast. And if you ask him about it, he'll pay coy. It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey man, I love this thing you did. There was this, and he goes, "Oh, thanks. I don't know what that was, but I appreciate it." I'm like, son of a bitch, just let me in, dude.
Yeah, he won't. I interviewed him a few months ago, and I was giving him praise for all the people that he's influenced, and he wouldn't take it.
No,
he won't take it.
He's very, very. He's humble to a fault almost. He's so influential to a lot of cats like
you,
like me, like the Southern California cats and like the West Coast guys that didn't play this type of jump blues that was predominant from like West Coast kind of.
Yeah.
That like all the East LA guys worship Chris. Like Joey Delgado and I mean, I worship Joey Delgado for God's sake, but like Joey Delgado, Chris Kane, Danny Diaz, Bobby Robles, there's all these players that were really like Chris was the guy. He still is the guy, and now I'm really happy that he's got someone pushing him, and people are starting to realize that he's an absolute legend and genius.
Yeah.
You know,
he is. He's like amazing,
he's
and
like
that new record is just so good. I don't know if you've heard it.
Oh yeah, he did it with Kid at Greaseland.
Yeah,
the same place we did our record.
Killer.
Like, Kid is another genius.
Another great guitar player.
Yeah, he's out of his mind genius. He's like a machine. He can play anything brilliantly.
How do you like that to be surrounded by all those great guys?
Well, this is how you know that a guitar player is great, and this is a little secret I'll tell you about. A lot of people don't know about this. Gino, Chris Kane, Kid Anderson, Laura Chavez. They all have one thing in common, and they don't drive. They do not drive. Will not drive. So that's how I kind of like, okay, he doesn't drive, then he's probably good.
I can tell you a story about Laura and I.
Oh, really?
Yep. Long time ago, Laura and I, back when she was 21, maybe, her and I were trading music online. And she told me that she had a band. She was San Jose. She had a band. And I go, great. When you come to the East Coast, come play on my show. Sure enough, 2003, she came with the Lara Price band, who she was with at the time.
Yeah.
And she killed us. I mean, killed us. I had no idea who she was, what she was. And I said to her that day, I said, I can't wait to see in the next 3 to 5 years what you're going to be like. You're a monster now.
Yeah.
And then, she ended up with Candy Kane and all the people she's playing with now. And she's got recognition. Like, she got recognized. I was like, wow, she deserves every bit of it. She's that good.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of my favorites, and I was so happy when she played on my first record, my solo record. I was just like starstruck, and she's amazing, and I'm so glad she's.
But that just goes to show you all the great guitar players in California, and just in the state alone, it's crazy.
There's a lot of it's a real head cutting state for a while. There was a lot of years, still is. There's still some great guitar players in California, but yeah, Laura's amazing.
I remember her having issues with guy guitar players when she traveled. They didn't like the fact that she was a woman playing as well as she could play. She could play better than them.
Yeah, of course.
She will.
Yeah, Laura's. That's the one thing I like about her. She's never been competitive or anything. She's always just been solid.
Yeah.
And always had great taste, great touch, great time,
great tone. Yep.
Oh, a great tone. Yeah. Laura, and I'm not normally a fan of Strat. The sound of Strat makes. Strat is not my favorite guitar sound.
She'll make you like it.
She makes you love a Strat. I was like the way Ronnie Earl makes a Strat really sing.
Yeah.
Laura does that same kind of thing.
Well, she was woodshedding with those guys, Ronnie and Coco Montoya and Walter Trout, all those guys, all California guys. What am I saying?
Yeah. Coco was another California guy. Yeah, Walter as well.
She was, when she was younger, 18, 19, when I first used to talk to her, that's all she was doing was woodshedding and listening to those guys. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she finds her way into that and has become one of the biggest names. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, she's a badass. She deserves it.
So tell me how people can find out about you guys.
Oh, you can go to BennettMatteoBand.com. Instagram is Bennett Matteo Band. Facebook is Bennett Matteo Band. Just Google us and something will pop up.
Yeah.
So your own personal website's gone, right? It was GinoMatteo.com at one time.
Yeah, it's gone. I'm done with it. I love, I'm going to say it in front of you now. I love playing music with Jade. I love the sound of her voice. So
I don't like when you say that because it seems like I have you pussy whipped or something. All his ideas.
No, it wasn't it wasn't her doing it. But
no, I'm totally happy playing behind Jade. That's great.
When I wrote my songs for myself, I had my scope of performance is much limited to what I want to write. And Jade can sing anything. And so it made my as a writer, my Crayola box that I write with just became a 64 piece instead of the one they gave you at Denny's.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The 8-piece one, right? The little one.
Yeah. I had 4 good notes in my voice. So
You had a 4-piece.
I had a 4-piece. Yeah.
No.
So I was like, well,
It was just, and honestly, here's the biggest thing is I had my solo stuff, he had his solo stuff, and it was just like becoming way too much. It was like, let's just condense and get rid of all the websites, all the, just one thing. Because, excuse me for 1 minute.
Yeah. She's got to, 1 second. We got to pause it for 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We can still talk.
Okay. She's just saying goodbye.
So your website, I'm surprised you didn't keep it just for any music stuff like guitar stuff, things like that.
That stuff's out there, like you can find my music and stuff, and and I figure in this day and age, the internet kind of carries it. I just kind of condensed it all basically
Into the one Bennett.
Yeah. Which
Matteo.
was at first it was Matteo Bennett Band, but now she won that one too. So I'm just kidding.
Well, B comes before M. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I always wanted to play guitar in the BM band.
There you go. BMB, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bowel Movement Band.
The Bowel Movement Band.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
So you have a Facebook page and
Yeah.
I went outside for a second, so now I have sunglasses on.
so you have a Facebook page and all the social media stuff too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Instagram is Bennett Matteo Band. Facebook is Bennett Matteo Band.
Great.
Yeah. What else? Website is, did you talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
BennettMatteoBand.com, right?
Yes.
That's it. BennettMatteoBand.com.
And everybody should be looking out for the new record on the 20th, 24th of May or 20th of May?
20th.
The 20th, yeah.
20th of May.
You can pre-order it now on the website. And if you order it off the website, it'll be signed and delivered to you on the 20th. And then you can also pre-order it on Amazon.
And if you pre-order it a bunch, we'll end up on I was told, that's how you end up on a Billboard list or something. So pre-order if you can.
Yeah.
And it helps. That's good.
Yeah. If you don't like it when the album comes out, just get in touch with me. I'll take care of it.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to both of you for spending some time today with me.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
And I'm going to rebroadcast this weekend on Saturday at 4 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, sounds great.
And I'm going to play some of your solo stuff before it, so we can.
Okay, please, yeah, no problem. Whatever you want to play is fine.
And if I can get those 2 singles, I'm going to see if I can play those too this weekend.
I'll email you a SoundCloud that has the whole album on it, and you can listen to it and check it out. And the two singles are the first 2 songs.
What if I play the whole thing this weekend? How would you like that as a promo?
That would be amazing.
I don't know can you do
just talk to Michelle.
As long as they say it's okay, sure.
If they say it's okay, please do. Yeah.
Well, I'll play a couple from it anyway. How's that?
Excellent. Make sure you tag me, so I'll make sure to listen in and I'll share it and stuff.
I will.